I'm back today. I know it's been a long time since I've recorded anything, but life has just been busy. But I'm making applesauce. I have maybe 10 pounds of apples that are going soft. They're not rotten or bad, but they need to get used. So I'm going to peel and chop them and turn them into applesauce. And then with the peels and the cores and the scraps, I haven't decided if I'm going to do apple cider vinegar or apple jelly, because I'm not sure which one we'd use more of, so I might do a little bit of both depending on how many scraps I have, but I thought I'd bring you along. So the scraps are going in one bowl in here, and then all the apple pieces are going in another bowl. So I have lots of scraps and lots of apples. So I'm going to get them cooking down and then I'll come back. So everything is peeled and chopped. I'm going to get the apples into the pot and cooking and decide what I'm going to do with the peels and scraps. A whole lot of water in, but I covered them about halfway because I don't want the applesauce to be super runny. I am going to add sugar and lemon juice for the acid to keep it so that it preserves well, and then once it starts cooking down and I start to add stuff, I'll let you know measurements if I remember. I think I'm going to do apple jelly because I don't use or really care for apple cider vinegar. I'm sure there's lots of health benefits to it. I feel like we're going to use apple jelly more, so I think that's what I'm going to do. But either way, I have to get them cooking down, so I'm going to put them in a different pot. I have to wash one, and then I'll get them cooking as well. I'm hoping these scraps cook down because the bowl is the same size as the pot I'm using, and it's going to be full to the brim. So the pot is full. I'm just going to add some water. So everything's cooking so far. I'm not sure how many jars of jelly that's going to make, but I have clean jelly jars here. They were clean before I put them in this bag. So I have 9 jelly jars, so that's as much jelly as I can make. If I make them in the smaller jars, I can give them as gifts for Christmas. So, let's see. And I was super pleased a while back. Dollarama had a set of 12 flats and bands for $5, and I for a while couldn't find them, so I grabbed several boxes, and they still have more, and they also have just the flats separate, but I figure if I get new bands then I'm set for a little while. Into the oven they go to that hot. Now this thing I am super glad to have. I got this from my father-in-law. It was his mom's, and it's a food mill. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've used it, but I'm so grateful. And it's all metal, looks like, other than this, and then the plunger to push things through, and the little chute to get rid of the scraps. But because I was saving the scraps, I didn't put the separator on. So it can't attach to the edge of my counter because there's a little lip under there, and there's not enough of a flat surface to catch it. What am I gonna do? needed a little more water. So when I had to look up a recipe, sorry if you can't hear me too well over the vent hood, but it's getting really hot in this kitchen. When I had to look up a recipe, I'd have to pause recording to use my phone to look up on Pinterest a recipe or a cooking time or a canning time or whatever, and then I was like, duh, I have a Chromebook here, a laptop, I can just look it up there and then I don't have to stop. What is that? Oh, an apple scrap. So I'm going to be making banana bread today too, because those are on their last legs. But I'll make it into muffins because that just is what everyone would prefer. So I was trying to figure out how to look it up on my laptop, what recipe to use, what size, what everything. And I thought, wait a second, I'm going to look on the pectin thing and it has the insert and it tells me. So I'm just going to do that.
I went onto Pinterest and I found a recipe for canning apple jelly from growforagecookferment.com and followed their instructions.
That's ridiculous. This recipe says 7 cups of juice and 9 cups of sugar to make apple jelly. That's ridiculous. I would probably do half that and it would be plenty. I'll probably only do about 4 cups because even that is just utterly ridiculous. Only place I can get my mill to attach to a counter is on the other side. I washed all the parts to the mill. Doing this right and I'm just making a giant mess. So as I'm milling it through, it's chopping up the apples, but it's also taking out some of the flesh, which is still apple. It separates it, and I don't love that. Yeah, so I mix the chunkier bits of apple back in, and I'm going to use my immersion blender. Need a little bit of liquid that they cooked. Ooh. Just a tiny bit. I'm going to add the rest of the juice that the apples cooked in to the scraps, and it'll make more jelly. Some lemon juice. I'm just going to put maybe a tablespoon or 2 in here. That's enough. I just eyeball things. I don't always measure exactly. And then I have brown cane sugar here that I'm going to add as well. But not tons. I'm not measuring it. It looks like a lot, but it's maybe 1.5 cups. And there's probably 6 or 8 cups of applesauce. Everything's mixed up. doesn't fit in those jars is gonna go in a little bowl and be my dessert after lunch. So I have 2 1-liter jars and 2 500 ml jars, and that's all it got me. I'm kind of surprised, but whatever. I'll just have to go to the orchard and get more apples and make more, because 4 jars will not last near long enough. I'm gonna get them wiped down and in a pot to water bath can. So the jars are in the canner over there. Where am I? There. And the water's heating up. They're covered by about 2 inches. Once it comes to a boil, they're gonna process for about 20 minutes, and then they'll sit out on the counter for a day or 2 to set, and I'll make sure that they're sealed. So I'm just straining all the scraps and getting all the juice out. I already have one of these pitchers full that I've put in there. And these jars are done, and they all sealed properly. But once I get all the juice strained and everything, then I'll come back and show you what I'm doing with it. So I have just shy of 11 cups of the liquid. So I added, like I said earlier, about 4 cups of the brown cane sugar. I added about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, and now I'm heating it back up to get it to boiling, and I have the canner boiling again. I had to run out and do a couple of things, so everything kind of cooled down. So I'm just heating it back up, and my jars are still warm in the oven. I left them, and then I'll get it in jars and water bath can again and see how many jars I get. I forgot to mention, I added 2 boxes of pectin as well. So hopefully it sets up good. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this canning season that the pectin seems to be not as strong as it usually is. Like, stuff doesn't thicken as well as it used to. And stuff just doesn't work quite the same. I wonder if it, I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but maybe a bad batch or not as potent. I don't know. So I've got all the juice into the jars. There's my 9 little jars, jelly jars, and then I have a big 1-liter jar that's full, and it was just perfect. So I'm gonna wipe the rims with a paper towel with vinegar on it to make sure everything's clean. All the flats and rings are on. The water bath is ready to go. It's boiling, so I'm going to put them in. I don't remember how long I had to process them for though. Okay, so I need to let them process for 10 minutes, then they sit in the canner for another 5 after I turn the heat off, and then they'll sit on the counter for probably 48 hours to set. So all the jars are out of the canner, and actually as I was lifting each jar out of the canner, they sealed. I'm still gonna let them sit for a couple days, probably just to sit here and set, and hopefully it sets, because there was a little more than was advised of pectin, because I know it hasn't been working as well. So hopefully it'll set. I think it will. love the color of it. It's beautiful. And as I was taking them out of the canner, someone knocked on my door and brought me some fresh apples. So I traded her and I gave her a jar of the applesauce that I had made. That's one of the many reasons why I love canning. It's just such a quick thank you gift or something for when someone swings by. But yeah, so that's it for the canning. I'm done with that. I don't think I'm going to get to the banana bread today. I might have to do it tomorrow. But anyway, that's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching.